we are one of the gang. That was the whole. That was really my goal there. And so I did something which is it sounds ridiculous, but I asked my adult actors to do. I also asked my child actors to improvise, and I was blessed once again with these little 6-year-olds and 7, 8-year-olds. Christopher is 8. They could actually improvise. They took our scripted lines and they just ripped with it. And sometimes they just went off on something completely different. It was fine with me as long as I was capturing that the truth of kids just acting as realistic as possible. That was all. That was what I needed. And I have to say though, they worked very closely with Samantha Kwan, who was the acting coach for the children, and really spent a tremendous amount of time. Because when you workshop with kids, it's very different from workshopping with adults. It's basically a number of games. It's games making their way to getting into character. So it's a lot of work, and I owe Samantha and the whole rest of the team. I really am so much gratitude because there's this whole team that made this happen. But
you also seem to be interested in threading a needle where there was dread, there was concern and anxiety on the part of the viewer.
Yes.
For what could happen, and every time there's a cut, after you see a kid disappearing somewhere, you don't know. You're so relieved when they're okay, and so you must have been manipulating that to agree. And also, I'm curious, how much were you worried? And this must have been something you calibrated in the editing room. You didn't want your characters to be so obnoxious that they would turn the viewer off.
Exactly. I look. Well, regarding that first part of that balancing, that tightrope, it's something that we knew we were going to. With Tangerine, it was more about an experimentation to see if this balancing act would work between comedy and pathos, and riding that fine line in there. Regarding that tightrope, I look back to the Our Gang comic shorts produced by Hal Roach. I was looking for Spanky McFarlane 2016, and now 2017. I believe I found Spanky McFarlane in Brooklyn Prince, and that was my goal. And no matter how obnoxious Spanky was back in the day, he was still the most adorable, funny little witty kid, and just an adorable little rascal. And that's what I was looking for.
Well, you get a kick out of the degree to which he just goes ahead and does the things he's not supposed to do.
But there's mischief, and none of it's ever. These aren't mean kids. I mean, the movie starts off. Spoiler alert! But the movie starts off with them doing what looks like a terrible act, completely basically spitting on the car of a new kid who arrives at the motel. But then within 5 minutes, everybody has made up and everybody is having fun. You know why? Because they're not evil kids. They're actually just they're just doing probably what they learned from the older kids, and I really wanted to show that there is an innocence there. All kids have that innocence, and yet all kids have that sort of that mischievous thing about them as well. And I wanted to explore that and have fun with it. That was the most important thing, to have fun with it, and because
there's a lot of joy.
Yeah, of course, yes, and kids can be really funny. And I wanted to show that. I didn't want the mopey, frowning kid. I did not, because I never saw that. I never saw it. When I went to the motels, even incredibly sad stories that we came across, tragedy. I mean, kids.
You did this over a period of years?
Yes, because we thought we were going to make this before Tangerine, and we couldn't find financing for it. So actually, the initial research began almost as far back as I believe 2013. And it was we took a few trips there. I didn't always have to go because Christopher Gosh's mother is actually from Orlando, so he took the trip, sometimes sent me video. And then once the thing actually became real, where there was a real promise of financing after Tangerine, then we started going there more frequently. But I came across children who, I have to say, they have already at the age of 7, they have the whole world against them. You know, they're in an unfortunate situation in which maybe sometimes their parents are in a real bind, and if they have both parents, and yet at the same time I saw kids smiling and kids trying to have fun and kids trying to make the best of what they had, and that was really what we wanted to show. That, like, even though Mooney didn't have the means to actually go to one of the parks that were only a mile away, she was still able to treat her environment like it was an attraction, a park ride. You know, she brings her friend to see a safari. The local abandoned condos are in a way the haunted mansion. I mean, she makes. And you
found some great locations there, man. You went for it. This is all near Orlando. Very, very period. Very 60s, 50s even.
Well, the thing about it is that all of these motels were once tourist motels, and they were styled in a way that kind of exploited the Disney mythology and style. So they would attract tourists to stay there. So they all had they had amazing colors and themes. We shot at the Magic Castle. This was also just part of the fascinating nature of that area.
So the Willem Dafoe character and the woman who plays the mother, you found her on Instagram.
Her name is Ria Vinafe, and she is incredible, and I think she holds her own with.
Very much so. Very much so.
And she had basically a crash course, acting 101, like in about a 3-week period of time. Again, working with Samantha Kwan and myself, and her just being open for this and brave. I have to say, incredibly brave. I told her that I said, look Willem Dafoe up. You're going to be working with. Looking up. She goes, the Green Goblin? Look up his filmography. You're going to be working with this guy. And she was frightened, rightfully so. But the wonderful thing about Willem is that he's such a nice guy.
He
is.
So
giving, and he's so patient, and he put all these actors at ease.
But he also doesn't stick out as though he feels just as real as they do, and he really broke my heart because he's the human heart behind this sort of father figure that's looking out for these kids.
Can't hold on.
He's angry too.
Yes, there's a lot. There's anger there. There's hurt. There's damage from the past. That really, honestly, we wanted to do it in a way where his backstory is just as much of a mystery to me as it is to the audience, and I wrote it, but I like that. But I have to say that Willem put in the hours. He came, and this shows what a devoted actor he is. He came early. He made sure he absorbed the environment. He met with motel managers, one in particular that really explained that the day-to-day grind and what this guy would have to deal with in a motel that housed sometimes up to 200 families. He would be having to deal with just the basic everyday running of a small business, and yet at the same time having to deal with the struggles of these families and what to do with them. And I saw, and so Willem really.
Well, it's a question of, are they going to pay the rent? Are are the cops chasing after prostitutes? There's all sorts of stuff going on.
A lot of, unfortunately, there's drug dealing in some of them. There's gangs. It's not a safe environment, and they don't have these small businesses who are just as affected by the recession and by the housing crisis as the individuals were. So the owners of these motels are just trying to keep up and adapt to what they have.
So in the editing room, tell me how you figured out how to find the right balance so that this movie, which made me cry, but it made me laugh a lot. It is a fun movie.
That's good to hear. it's a scene. It's scene by scene. Literally, when I'm editing, and I edit my own films, I edit a fine cut. I don't do an assemble. I don't do a rough. I go right to a fine cut. So as soon as I'm done with a scene, I don't even go on to the next scene until I go back and sort of do a nice sound design with that scene enough where I feel comfortable to move on to the next scene. Now, of course, there's this stuff may change. The final cut, I look back and I may rearrange a lot of scenes, which I do, but at least it gives me, I have to get enough of a sense of how this thing is playing, the pacing of it, the feeling, the tone of every scene, so because it'll dictate what happens in the next. And so, yes, it's that fine line between comedy and pathos, and it's a real tightrope, because I'm dealing with a subject matter that if I lean too much in one direction, it can be disastrous in terms of it being insulting. It can be offensive. It can go the way of condescending our characters. I would not be able to live with myself if I felt that the film didn't properly represent. So this is very important to me, and that's why I like long post-production periods where.
So how long did you have to shoot?
We had 35 days of shooting, which I know in this day and age.
No, you probably needed that.
I needed more.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I needed more because you're working with children, you're working with 35 millimeter, and you're working in the heat, the pounding sun of the summer in Orlando. Not fun. That's the one thing I don't think my film captured, the heat.